Lovely viewers, welcome back to the channel. Today, I bring you a truly heart-stopping and emotional story that feels straight out of a fairy tale, yet it unfolded in real life before the dazzled eyes of friends, fans, and the media. The world already adores Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo individually for their unrivaled acting careers, stunning visuals, and magnetic personalities. But when these two come together, sparks fly in a way that always keeps the public talking. And now, with this shocking twist that played out at their long-awaited reunion party, Lee Min-ho has gone above and beyond by presenting Hye Kyo with a multi-million-dollar luxury car that has everyone gasping in disbelief. Stay with me, dear viewers, because this story isn't just about a car. It's about emotions, meaning, and the way gestures of love can rewrite the way we look at two people's journey together. The reunion party itself was already the stuff of legends. Fans had been whispering for months about the possibility of Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo being spotted together again, especially after their names kept surfacing in various entertainment news cycles. The venue was carefully chosen, a lavish private hall filled with glistening chandeliers, marble flooring, and golden accents that made the atmosphere sparkle with elegance. A select group of close friends, industry colleagues, and family members were invited, but no one could have predicted that this evening would end with a gesture so monumental it would dominate headlines around the globe. Imagine being there, lovely viewers, sipping your glass of champagne, chatting about upcoming dramas and projects, when suddenly the room quiets, the lights dim, and Lee Min-ho himself steps forward with an expression that mixes pride, excitement, and something so tender it sends chills through the audience. Hye Kyo, radiant in a sleek silver gown that shimmered under the soft glow of the lights, didn't seem to have the slightest idea of what was coming her way. She greeted everyone with her usual warmth, her smile lighting up the room, but her focus was purely on enjoying the reunion and reconnecting with people she hadn't seen in a while. But then, as the music paused and a hush fell over the gathering, Lee Min-ho held out his hand, signaling that something extraordinary was about to happen. Everyone leaned forward, phones ready, eyes wide, eager not to miss a single moment of this unfolding surprise. Out in the courtyard, parked under a velvet cover with spotlights glinting off its hidden silhouette, waited the luxury gift of a lifetime. When the curtains dramatically lifted and the cover slid away, gasps echoed through the room and beyond. Before their eyes stood a gleaming multi-million-dollar car, one of the rarest, most prestigious models in the world, the type only a handful of the richest elite could ever dream of owning. The polished body reflected the glow of the chandeliers like liquid metal, and its sleek design screamed power, sophistication, and exclusivity. It wasn't just a car, it was a masterpiece, a rolling work of art crafted for royalty. And the way Lee Min-ho presented it made it even more unforgettable. He didn't just point to the car or hand over the keys casually. No, he walked Hye Kyo out, holding her hand gently as the crowd followed behind. His voice carried softly yet firmly as he explained why he had chosen such a grand gesture. He spoke of admiration, respect, and the memories they had shared in both professional and personal circles. He said this car wasn't just about wealth, it was a symbol of how he saw her. Timeless, elegant, and incomparable. Lovely viewers, can you imagine standing there, watching Hye Kyo's face shift from shock to awe, her hands covering her mouth as her eyes glistened with tears? It was the kind of raw, unscripted emotion you rarely witness in public, and it struck every single person present to their core. Hye Kyo, who is known for her composed and graceful demeanor, was visibly overwhelmed. Her laughter mingled with tears as she touched the car gently, almost as if she couldn't believe it was real. Her friends cheered, some clapped, while others simply filmed in stunned silence. This wasn't just a reunion party anymore. It had transformed into a once-in-a-lifetime event that would forever be etched in both of their histories. And for the fans, it was pure magic. Social media exploded instantly with clips, captions, and hashtags. #Minho gift for Hye Kyo began trending within minutes, with fans around the world commenting about how dreamy and romantic the surprise felt. But, lovely viewers, what made the moment even more interactive and heartwarming was how Hye Kyo responded. Instead of just accepting the car with a polite thank you, she turned to Lee Min-ho with a heartfelt embrace that melted the hearts of everyone watching. That hug wasn't rehearsed, it wasn't part of any performance. It was genuine, filled with gratitude and something deeper that fans could sense immediately. Some whispered that the way she held onto him revealed more than words ever could. Could this gesture be a sign of something blossoming between them? Was this reunion party, and this extravagant gift, a new chapter in their personal story together? As the evening went on, the car became the centerpiece of conversations. Guests circled around it, snapping photos, marveling at the details of its interior, and praising Lee Min-ho for not just the gift but the thought behind it. This wasn't just an expensive toy. It was customized in subtle ways that reflected Song Hye Kyo's elegance. From the hand-stitched leather seats to the engraved initials discreetly placed on the dashboard, every element whispered of personalization and meaning. The car wasn't just about showcasing wealth. It was about celebrating her individuality in the grandest way possible. And here's where you, dear viewers, come in. Imagine yourself in Song Hye Kyo's shoes. How would you feel if someone surprised you with such an unimaginable gift in front of your loved ones? Would you be speechless like her? Or would you burst into tears of joy immediately? Would you believe the gesture was about love, respect, or perhaps even a declaration of something bigger? Take a moment to picture the flashbulbs, the cheers, the awestruck faces, and tell me in the comments how you would react if you were standing in her place. Now, beyond the glitz and glamour of the night, the implications of this moment run deep. For years, fans have speculated about the dynamic between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo, two titans of the Korean entertainment industry. They've both had their share of public relationships and private heartbreaks, yet somehow, their names always circle back into the same conversation. To see Lee Min-ho making such a bold, luxurious statement in her honor has reignited curiosity and excitement across the globe. Is this just a beautiful gesture between close friends and colleagues, or is it a sign of something more tender, something romantic blooming quietly yet powerfully behind the scenes? Lovely viewers, the truth is that the car may have been the star of the night, but the emotions it stirred are what will last far longer. The look in Song Hye Kyo's eyes, the pride in Lee Min-ho's smile, and the way their chemistry lit up the room told a story that no headline could fully capture. This was about more than horsepower, luxury brands, or dollar signs. It was about human connection, about reminding someone of their worth, and about daring to make a gesture so grand it shakes the world around them. As the party carried on, laughter and music filled the air again. But every so often, people would sneak another glance at the car gleaming under the lights, as if to reassure themselves that it was real. Song Hye Kyo was seen later in the evening sitting in the driver's seat, giggling as she explored the controls, while Lee Min-ho stood nearby, clearly delighted to see her enjoying the gift. Friends teased them, some joking that she should take them all for a ride immediately, while others snapped photos that will surely become iconic in the fan world. And so, lovely viewers, we come to the heart of it all. What does this mean moving forward? Will this reunion mark the start of a new partnership, perhaps even on screen, where their chemistry can be shared with the world? Or is this luxury surprise a sign of something more personal, more intimate, that we may only discover in time? That's the beauty of moments like these. They spark imagination, hope, and endless discussion among fans who have followed their journeys for years. So as we wrap up this interactive storytelling, I invite you once more to imagine yourself in that glittering hall, surrounded by laughter, beauty, and luxury. Imagine watching Lee Min-ho unveil that car. Imagine hearing Song Hye Kyo's gasp. And imagine feeling the warmth of that embrace between them. This wasn't just a gift. It was a message, one written not in words but in action, in the most breathtaking way possible. Lovely viewers, what do you think this gesture means? Was it pure friendship, admiration, or could it be the start of a love story that fans have secretly been wishing for? Share your thoughts, your dreams, and your excitement in the comments below, because as always, your voices are part of this incredible journey. Stay tuned, because if history has taught us anything, it's that whenever Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo step into the same room, the world will always stop to watch. If anything, the gesture opened a door to even more touching, surprising, and unforgettable moments that made the reunion party the kind of story people will be retelling for years to come. After the first wave of shock and applause, the atmosphere in the venue transformed completely. Before the gift was revealed, it was already a glamorous evening filled with chatter, music, and reunions. But once Lee Min-ho led Song Hye Kyo to that stunning luxury car, the energy shifted into something almost dreamlike. Guests weren't just mingling anymore. They were caught in the spell of witnessing history. Everyone's eyes stayed fixed on the pair, and whispers floated through the air. Some soft, some excited, some even envious, but all wrapped in awe. Hye Kyo, still recovering from the emotional roller coaster of the moment, found herself surrounded by friends and colleagues who hugged her, congratulated her, and teased her playfully about being the queen of surprises. Yet her gaze kept flicking back to Lee Min-ho, almost as if she couldn't stop herself from checking whether the gift was real, or whether she had just dreamed it up. That's the beauty of moments like this, lovely viewers. They blur the line between reality and fantasy. Lee Min-ho, on his part, was calm but undeniably proud. He wasn't flaunting the car or basking in the attention. Instead, he focused on Hye Kyo, making sure she felt comfortable and loved amid the storm of attention. His subtle gestures, pulling out a chair for her, pouring her a drink, smiling whenever she laughed, didn't go unnoticed. To many, those small, intimate actions spoke even louder than the grand unveiling of the car. Fans watching from clips later on couldn't help but comment, "Look at the way he looks at her. It's not just about the car, it's the way he treats her, and this feels like a love confession in disguise." As the night went deeper, the party took on a more intimate tone. Music shifted from upbeat tracks to softer, more romantic melodies. A live band played classics that seemed perfectly suited to the mood, and the dim golden lights cast a glow that felt almost cinematic. Some guests took to the dance floor, and it wasn't long before others began encouraging Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo to share a dance. Can you imagine the scene, lovely viewers? The crowd cheering gently, urging them forward, and the two stars exchanging a glance that spoke volumes. At first, Hye Kyo seemed shy about the idea. She laughed, waved her hands as though saying, no, but everyone knows that when a room full of loved ones cheers you on, resistance only lasts so long. Lee Min-ho extended his hand, bowing slightly like a gentleman, and with a smile that melted everyone's hearts, Hye Kyo finally accepted. And just like that, the two glided onto the dance floor. The music swelled, the chatter dimmed, and all eyes turned to them. Their chemistry was undeniable, elegant, effortless, and magnetic. It wasn't an overly dramatic dance, nothing choreographed or rehearsed. It was simple, graceful, and full of moments where their eyes locked, where their smiles softened, where the air between them seemed to thrum with an unspoken connection. The crowd swayed with them, recording, clapping gently, and sighing at how beautiful the moment was. The car had stunned them all, but the dance was something deeper, something emotional, something that fans later described as soul-stirring. And then came another highlight, Hye Kyo's own response to the gift. She didn't let the night pass without turning the spotlight back on Lee Min-ho. After the dance, she took the microphone, her voice warm and slightly trembling with emotion. She thanked everyone for coming, and then she turned to Min-ho. With a soft laugh, she admitted she had never been so shocked in her life and that his gesture was beyond imagination. But she didn't stop there. She went on to say that what touched her the most wasn't the price tag of the gift, but the thought, effort, and meaning behind it. "This car will remind me not just of tonight," she said, "but of the kindness and sincerity of the person who gave it." Lovely viewers, you can imagine how those words hit the crowd. Applause erupted, some guests even tearing up at the honesty in her tone. Lee Min-ho, though usually composed, was visibly moved. His smile widened, and for a moment, it felt as though the entire room was witnessing something very personal, very real. As the night stretched on, little details added more sparkle to the memory. Some guests later shared how Lee Min-ho had arranged for custom champagne bottles to be opened after the reveal, each one engraved with Hye Kyo's initials and the date of the reunion. Others noticed how the car wasn't just placed outside randomly. It had been showcased against a backdrop of flowers, fairy lights, and even a projected slideshow of moments from Hye Kyo's career. Imagine that, lovely viewers. Her most iconic scenes, her most breathtaking magazine covers, all flashing behind the luxury car like a tribute to her legacy. That wasn't just generosity, it was artistry. And here's something to make you smile. Though the car was the centerpiece, guests later whispered that Hye Kyo's favorite moment was sitting inside it with Lee Min-ho right beside her, showing her all the features like an excited friend sharing his favorite toy. She laughed, leaned toward him when he explained the custom settings, and playfully asked if he was going to teach her how to handle such a powerful machine. Those candid moments, caught on phones and later shared online, became instant fan favorites. The online reaction grew even bigger overnight. Hashtags about the reunion, the dance, the car, and the heartfelt speeches spread like wildfire. International fans began making edits of the clips, setting them to romantic soundtracks, while some created fan art of Hye Kyo standing by the luxury car with Min-ho by her side. Even news outlets outside Korea picked up the story, calling it one of the most extravagant surprises in celebrity history, and a reunion that felt more like a royal celebration. But what kept everyone buzzing wasn't just the gift or the luxury. It was the implications. Was this reunion purely professional, a celebration among friends, or was it a glimpse into a bond that had grown far deeper than the public realized? Some insiders hinted that Min-ho had been planning the surprise for weeks, that he had personally overseen every detail of the car's customization, and that his motivation went beyond admiration. It was about showing Hye Kyo how much she truly meant to him. Lovely viewers, imagine being part of that conversation, standing among the guests, whispering with excitement about whether this was the beginning of a love story or simply an unmatched gesture of respect. Imagine the thrill of wondering what might come next, knowing that this one night had already etched itself into history. And here's where the continuation feels most alive. You, as the audience, are part of this journey too. Because every fan who watched, who commented, who trended hashtags, became part of the narrative. Your reactions, your discussions, your interpretations added layers to the story that made it even richer. That's the power of interactive storytelling, lovely viewers. The way one gesture can ripple across the world, touching millions who weren't even in the room but felt as though they were. So now, as we continue unfolding this magical night, think about it. If the car was just the beginning, what more could unfold between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo? What secrets of that night haven't been revealed yet? What other gestures might surface in the future? One thing is certain. The reunion party wasn't just an event. It was the start of a chapter fans will be following closely, with hearts wide open and eyes eagerly waiting for the next surprise. The reunion party might have ended that night, but the waves of what happened continued to ripple across the world in ways that surprised even those closest to Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo. The car was dazzling, the dance was enchanting, and the heartfelt speeches melted hearts. But what lingered long after the lights dimmed were the possibilities, the whispers, and the stories born from that unforgettable night. In the days that followed, the media went into overdrive. Entertainment reporters dissected every second of the event, analyzing Lee Min-ho's expressions, Song Hye Kyo's tears, and even the way their hands brushed against each other during their dance. Fashion critics praised Hye Kyo's gown, while luxury experts speculated on the exact model of the car, with some claiming it was a one-of-a-kind piece customized exclusively for her. Headlines screamed phrases like Lee Min-ho's gift of the century, Song Hye Kyo's dream night, and a reunion party straight out of a fairy tale. And as always, fans didn't just consume the news. They became part of it, creating their own narratives, edits, and endless discussions that kept the moment alive. But here's where it gets even more intriguing, lovely viewers. Some insiders began revealing behind-the-scenes details that painted the gesture in an even more romantic light. Sources close to Min-ho whispered that he had been planning the surprise for months, consulting with designers and luxury car manufacturers to ensure that the gift wasn't just expensive, but deeply personal. One insider even claimed that Min-ho personally requested that certain design elements inside the car reflect Hye Kyo's elegance, like the subtle floral patterns stitched into the leather, inspired by her love for delicate aesthetics, and the soft ambient lighting that resembled the warm tones often used in her iconic dramas. This wasn't just a purchase. It was a love letter disguised as a machine. Song Hye Kyo, meanwhile, remained graceful and understated in her public appearances afterward. She didn't boast about the gift, nor did she give away much about what the gesture meant to her personally. But fans noticed her subtle glow during interviews, the way her smile lingered longer, the way her eyes seemed to sparkle whenever Min-ho's name came up. Could it be, lovely viewers, that the gift had touched her heart far deeper than words could express? Or was it simply her way of keeping the mystery alive, knowing the world was already buzzing with curiosity? The reunion party also sparked speculation about the possibility of a professional collaboration between the two stars. Imagine the power, lovely viewers, if Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo were to headline a drama together after such a public display of chemistry. Producers and directors were reportedly already circling, eager to pitch projects that would bring them together on screen. And fans, they nearly exploded at the thought, flooding social media with Dreamcast posters, storyline suggestions, and pleas for drama networks to make it happen. Some even joked that no script could outdo the romance already playing out in real life. And then there's the fan interaction itself. which became a phenomenon all its own. People around the world didn't just watch, they participated. Some fans created reaction videos, filming themselves crying, laughing, or screaming when they first saw clips of the car reveal. Others wrote heartfelt messages online saying things like, "This is the kind of love we all dream of," or, "Hye Kyo deserves every bit of this happiness." There were even fans who admitted the moment inspired them to surprise their own loved ones, not with multi-million-dollar gifts, but with gestures of sincerity that showed appreciation and love. Isn't that beautiful, lovely viewers? The way one gesture can spark a chain of kindness across the world. As the buzz grew louder, so did the theories. Some believed the gift was a subtle way of announcing something deeper between Min-ho and Hye Kyo, a relationship kept under wraps until the right moment. Others insisted it was purely a grand act of admiration and friendship, a way of honoring her as one of the most iconic actresses in Korea. But the truth, as always, seemed layered. What mattered most wasn't the labels but the way the gesture made people feel. Inspired, hopeful, and enchanted. And here's the most inclusive part, dear viewers. You are part of this ongoing story. Think of it like this. Each of you who watched, who commented, who shared the moment with friends, became a thread in the fabric of this magical event. Without fans to celebrate it, the story would have ended when the party did. But because of your excitement, your love, your energy, the moment has stretched far beyond the walls of that venue. You gave it life, you gave it weight, and you turned it into something unforgettable. Now imagine with me for a moment. What happens next? What if Song Hye Kyo decides to drive that luxury car down the streets of Seoul, photographers capturing her every move, and fans cheering as she passes by? What if Lee Min-ho is spotted riding alongside her, laughing in the passenger seat, turning the surprise into a shared experience? Or what if, in an even bolder twist, they arrive together at their next public event in that very car, stepping out side by side, making a statement that goes beyond words? Lovely viewers, can you feel how alive this story is? It doesn't stop. It keeps unfolding, keeps growing, fueled by every new sighting, every new rumor, and every dream fans pour into it. That's what makes this continuation so special. It isn't just about a car or a party. It's about the way love, admiration, and hope ripple outward, touching millions. And so, as we stand at this point in the narrative, one thing is clear. The reunion party was only the beginning. The luxury surprise was the spark, but what follows? The speculation, the emotions, the possibilities, is the fire that keeps burning in the hearts of fans everywhere.